We've just come off the back of another Arsenal win against Chelsea in one of the most thrilling matches I've ever watched on TV. But we're through to the final at Wembley, which is fantastic. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be Man City based on the scoreline that's currently happening. What did you think of the Arsenal match last night, Mark?
Uh, just one word, really. Boring. Like, absolute rubbish.
I thought,
Like,
yeah,
oh, I bet
it
you
was
did.
absolute
Yeah, yeah.
masterclass, and it was absolute masterclass at keeping a Premier League team at bay.
Well, it reminded me of watching bloody Roy Hodgson do any management duties for a football club. Just boring football.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
suppose
glad.
that is the Arsenal way nowadays, though, isn't it? Boring, boring. Arsenal is coming back around again, and it proved it last night.
It did feel
Old
very
set
George
piece
Graham.
Arsenal. Jeez.
1-0 to the Arsenal. It did
Yeah.
feel very much sort of like that. But we've done everything that we needed to go through. At the end of the day, we was the one that was ahead. We was waiting for the team, Chelsea, to come to the Emirates and have a go at us, and yeah, they wasn't able to because of our brilliant defence, brilliant midfield, brilliant pressing. It was yeah, a brilliant performance. I thought our defence was absolutely brilliant. I thought there was
Didn't have nothing to do.
some- it was a very timid performance from Chelsea. But I think if when you look at the match and the way that we played, we just sort of like done what we had to do at the end of the day. And I think that's what the best teams do is they just do what they have to do to get through. And we didn't really feel like it didn't feel like as viewers that we had to do much, but there was a lot of running on that pitch and there was a lot of, pressing and a lot of defensive work but Chelsea just didn't seem to have um too much going forward, really. And I
I
thought,
think
like,
they're still. Sorry, I was going to say. I think they're in the transition period with Rafinha still. By the looks of things, like they don't know how to implement what he wants at the moment. It seems like I don't know if that's basically how he plays in general with Strasbourg, because I only saw the once when Palace played him this season. But like, gets to a point probably with Chelsea, like they should be doing a lot better with the games they've had in recent weeks. But I think he's come on yet really for him. I don't know.
no, I mean, if you look at that West Ham game, I mean, that lineup that he put out for West Ham, I was like, well, he's got one thing in mind, and that's trying to get through to the final of the League Cup. And then obviously the first half at Stamford Bridge happened, and West Ham were 2-0 up at half time. So
Yeah, yeah.
he had to make changes, and I think going into this match, they had a lot of confidence from that match. So it was a very sort of like dull performance from both teams. But I think we've watched matches before in the past with certain managers and certain teams, and we've gone away and gone absolutely brilliant performance from the team that won. But everything yesterday just felt like it was about Chelsea's lack of ability to have a go at Arsenal, which is fair enough if that's what that they want to talk about. But I think we can only play the team that's in front of us, right? That's all you can do is play the team that's in front
Of
of you.
course.
And I think we played that team really well. And the word adjustment is used a lot with Arteta, and like he'll set the team up ready for a certain game plan, and he's sort of like taught them and sort of like made them learn how to adjust in games to changes and other teams and how other teams perform and uh, their decision making around how they change throughout the match and stuff like that. So I thought we adjusted really well to the fact that it felt like Chelsea weren't trying to score at times or trying to probe us or anything like that. But I think yesterday, if anything, my concern with yesterday is it felt like we really, really needed Saka. Like
Right.
he got injured in the Leeds warm up, and it felt like yesterday was the day that we like did need him to sort of like make something happen in the first half. Madueke had a couple of runs at Kukurea and Hato, but it wasn't really coming off for him at all. I think we got like maybe one or two crosses into the box in that first
Yeah, yeah.
half.
They
It
weren't
just
the best
felt like
crosses either. That's the thing.
yeah, it just felt like we was missing Saka for that sort of game. look, we won at the end of the day, but it did feel like
Former Chelsea player as well.
from an attacking perspective, it just felt like we was lacking something up front, and I think that was probably Saka for that sort of a game. He's been with the team for so long. He's desperate to get to a final. He's got that energy and that desire, probably more than anybody else as our captain. When Odegaard's not playing, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just very, very, very easy. That's what it felt like at the end of the day.
I think like watching the game, like especially when it got towards the last 20 minutes and that, I'm I think Arsenal fans have got to start questioning, like, as much as like Eze's like what he's done for Palace, like, stuff like that. I think watching that game yesterday showed he's still not up to pace in that role massively. He just looked like he was a ghost on the pitch yesterday, and like luckily you didn't let a goal in to sort of worry about having to really push for that win, because he just looked completely out of place yesterday. I was very surprised. I mean, what are Arsenal fans at the moment? I can imagine it's mixed reaction, but what is everyone
Uh,
saying about?
no, I mean, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I was messaged the last two games that Eze's played. I've messaged him and go, Eze just looks like it just looks like we're playing with 10 men. I said, Eze doesn't look like he wants to get on the ball. He looks like he's struggling to find space. And when he is, he's going backwards. It's like he's nervous to play a forward pass. And same thing yesterday. I just messaged my mate and I was just like, Eze is not in this game at all. And that was on like 70 minutes. Um, I was concerned if Chelsea had scored. Like, we need playmakers to, turn on at a certain time in that. But I'm in agreement with you. He's not found the pace yet. He's not found the performance. He's not found the way that he should be playing in that team. And there's an element of me that's like how Arteta buys players and then he lets them settle in. He does do that, regardless of what you think. You can have like an opinion on somebody. Oh, you spent all this money on somebody. They're still going to be with us for 5 years. So we've got 5 years worth of talent out of it. It's just whether or not he turns on the talent all the time. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think coming towards this back part of the season, there's a lot of weird talk, which has got honestly, it's just absolute nonsense about Odegaard and whether he should be playing and stuff like that. And it's also it just always feels like there's nothing that you can break down about Arsenal, so it's nitpicking and stuff like that. And for me, Odegaard starts every match, regardless of what anybody else thinks. I think Arteta has that same thought process as well. But Eze isn't
I
doing
think
anything.
though
Eze's
with
doing
Odegaard,
nothing to
was
change Arteta's opinion. So
well, that's what I was going to say. I think the worry for you, especially in the future regarding Odegaard, could be if you don't yet again finish this year winning this title. Is if in his mind he might be thinking about, where do I go? Maybe do I go to, say, would Madrid want me again or something like that? Because he never really got a fair crack there before Arsenal took him. Would somewhere else, like, I don't know, say Manchester City, take him? They might take him for big money, you
mm,
know. Because if he does go, your replacement really, well, in Arteta's eyes, is Eze, and it's not working so far.
no,
Like, as much
it's
as
not.
he's got the talent. That's the thing.
No, it's not. I think yeah. I think with like anything, there's always nitpicking with Arsenal. It's like Gyökeres isn't doing enough, and then he'll go and score a goal. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Gyökeres is back," and then he won't do enough again. It's just the way it is. Like, that's just how football is. And it's the same with Odegaard. We know how talented he is. He is our captain at the end of the day. He should be on the pitch for every single 90 minutes, but he won't be. One, because of his previous injury problems. At the start of the season, he dislocated his shoulder like 3 times, um, or had a shoulder injury like 3 times. He had
I
really
didn't know
bad.
about that, to be honest.
He had a really bad injury last year. So there is there's so much that goes on as fans we don't watch, and for some reason we have to find reasons to say that, oh, this person needs to be dropped and that person needs to be dropped. And I mean, it's everything that has happened so far has worked at the end of the day. It has. It just, when Odegaard's played, it's worked. If he doesn't score, he doesn't get an assist, whatever, he's still run, 9, 10 kilometers on the pitch, he's still putting all the effort that's required in his role. He's still putting a captain's performance. But the thing for me is that when you're, like really, really, really good players, world-class players, will go onto a pitch, when and they'll go, "Look, this is why you need to pick me." And Eze doesn't do that. And I don't know if that's nervousness or the way he's been set up or the way that he sort of feels like he doesn't get into the game, or if he does get into the game, I don't know. But for me, he's not turning any heads at the moment. For 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 Arteta to like think that Odegaard is going to be dropped. I mean, Jesus had that really good performance against Inter Milan, and the next game Jesus started, didn't he? So Arteta's not
Yeah, he didn't
accustomed
look
to
good
not
either.
making those sorts of decisions, but I don't think Eze's doing anything to provide him with that. But at the same time, he did trust him in such an important game as well, right? He did trust him in such an important game to go through to the final. So we'll see what happens, I guess. We can only hope. The main thing is we got through to a final. We're going to be playing Man
Yeah,
City by the looks of it. Um, and
and the
yeah,
quad's still not
in
going to
three
happen.
weeks'
Still,
time. Hmm? Say again?
and the quad's still not going to happen. The quad's still not going to happen.
The quad is still on though. It's funny. Today was the first
Yeah,
time. Sorry, today was the first time I read an article about the quadruple, and I was like obviously journalists are slight difference if you can call them journalists nowadays. They're more just like picture people, but um, I heard it mentioned, and I still can't grasp like why you wouldn't have like I've got a confident belief because we're still doing well in all these competitions, right? But at the beginning of the season, you should believe that your team is going to go and win like everything, right? That's how you should approach it as a fan, right? And throughout the season, your belief can diminish, right? So you can be like, oh God, we've lost 6 games in a row. We're definitely not going to win the league, and your belief can diminish. And I get all of that, but I don't have it. Nothing has changed my opinion this year, right? Which has been different from the last 29 years that I've been thinking the same thing, if that makes sense. So, like, it's all about, at the moment, nothing has changed my opinion. We might go out to Wigan in the FA Cup, in which case I'll then start saying we're going to do the treble. But, like, until we get
For
knocked
God's
out of
sake.
stuff or things are impossible, it's always going to be a belief that you can win everything. I think that's the right attitude to have. We only ever do things perfectly. Yeah, we won the Premier League perfectly. Who's to say
Oh
that we don't
God,
go
here
and
we
win the
go.
quadruple?
Everyone, everyone, literally, and plus nobody wants that.
It would be funny though, wouldn't it? The amount of people that you could
Well,
just be like, "Have you got
yeah,
4 in one season?" No? Oh, right, okay.
but you
Hey,
can't
look,
say it to Man
we'll
City
see what
fans, though, can
happens.
you?
I will keep
So,
saying it, not in a arrogant way, but just in a fan belief way that it's still
do you mean
possible.
like every other Arsenal fan way?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, Arsenal arrogance.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think
yeah, good. I mean, we also bounced back from the United game, didn't we? And we beat Leeds 4-0. That was a really good result. Again at
yeah,
Ellen Road. And then we got Sunderland this weekend, so we need to go and perform against them. I'll be
being
I'll be
strange
I'll be
one
at the,
Sunderland,
I'll be
didn't
at the
they
game
lately
this
as
week.
well? Yeah, what they're saying the Sunderland's a bit strange lately as well, like how well they was doing, and then it's sort of like a few bad results, and I think that's the thing with the Premier League, isn't it? Like one or two good wins, and it pushes you up and down the table like crazy. Like
Yeah, well, they beat Burnley,
that's what's
didn't
happening to Sunderland at the moment. Yeah,
they? They beat Burnley,
yeah,
but they're pushing for Champions like a European place. I know Zaka's injured at
yeah,
the moment.
yeah.
Um,
I think that's probably what's affecting them the most, to be honest.